everyone, and welcome in to another edition of the PHNX pregame show, brought to you by our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsey Smith, and alongside me is Gerald Bourget. Gerald, how are you?
Doing great. A little nervous, but I think that's just innate as a Suns fan watching all-star selections.
And then, of course, joining us remotely, we've got Espo. Espo, how you doing tonight?
Why do I feel like I'm in timeout in this little box on the screen?
You are.
It's weird. I don't like this very much. Anyways,
I mean,
good to be here. And Lindsey, I hear you laugh like a boomer. That's what I've been told. So.
I mean, that's what somebody in the chat said the other day, but I don't understand what that means entirely. So if you guys have any information on what that is, please share it with me. But we went a little bit live today because we've got some all-star announcements coming up here shortly. Gerald, you're a little nervous. Espo, are you nervous at all?
No, we're going to get 4 more guys in the game. It's going to be great. D.A., Mikhail, pack your bags. We're going to Cleveland, baby.
4.
Why does it feel like Cleveland, going to Cleveland is like a punishment for these guys?
I mean,
like this should be like not like this should be the All-Star game. This should be like the 50 worst guys of the league have to go to Cleveland during their break. Not the best. It just doesn't seem fair.
Oh.
I still remember that one time when I think it was the year that All-Star was in Chicago, PJ Tucker decided to vacation to like Aspen or something for his like stint of his All-Star break. And he literally put up an Instagram story where he was mouthing the words like, "What the F am I doing here?" Because he's like, this was the worst decision of my life to come vacation where it's snowy and cold and wet. I should have gone to a beach somewhere. And I think that it describes what everyone feels like around the All-Star break. Like, if you're not going somewhere sunny, what are you even doing with your life? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Every All-Star game I went to with the team was a place that was cold. New York, Toronto, New Orleans was crappy weather when we were there. Like, they should be strictly on the West Coast.
All right, hold on. I think we're about ready to open the first suitcase here. So hopefully you guys who are watching us are also watching this live, because we're going to live react with you kind of as this goes on. Let us know how you're feeling in the chat and what you think about all these selections here.
Here's how I'm feeling. Why the hell is Draymond on this broadcast?
To announce himself as an all-star? I don't know.
What kind of crap is that?
They're probably going to surprise him with an all-star selection, because I'd be very surprised if he's not one of the front court guys in the reserve. So for anyone watching, just to be clear, there are 2 guard spots, 2 or 3 front court spots, and then 2 wild card spots that can be any position. So so that will make up the 7 reserves that are going to get announced for each conference tonight. We're assuming that Devin Booker and Chris Paul are in 2 of those 4 available spots.
I mean,
if Draymond gets in, you have to assume he's going to miss because of injury, right?
Yes.
So would you put in Mikhail or DA if you were making the choice?
I feel like DeJounte Murray might get the nod.
Screw that, Gerald.
He didn't say who's actually going to.
I mean, if it's down to 2 Suns, I would go Mikal Bridges over DA, because DA's just missed too much time. He's missed almost half the season, but that's just me.
But by the way, guys, I think I'm ahead of you because I'm going to spoil it. Devin Booker just named as an all-star.
That's right. Let's go, baby.
All right. We're in.
3rd all-star selection for one. Devin Armani Booker. I love it.
Go ahead.
This is his first time as a non-injury replacement. Like, this is nice, because the last 2 years he should have been an all-star and barely was because somebody got hurt. Now it's nice that he's actually a bona fide all-star that is picked outright. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Devin. Like you said, this is a long time coming. Should have been, could have been, whatever, a while ago. But at least we're here now. And congratulations to Devin Booker. Like you said, a long time coming. How much further ahead of us are you?
Well, Luka's been named as well. So I'm at least
Luka
a good 2 minutes ahead of you.
Luka just got announced, yeah.
I can tell the future here. Oh my gosh, DeAndre Ayton's next. No, I'm just kidding.
You stop
Rudy
that.
Gobert is the next selection here. look, it does not surprise me that we have no surprises here. I do like that Devin was the first one named, though. That's nice. I'll
That is
take some.
a very kind thing to do, and like I said, very deserving. Maybe they felt
love that
bad because they knew he should have been a starter, and then they were like, "Well, at least we'll say his name first."
I love that they have this briefcase, like they were really that worried that this was going to leak, right? Here's
Rudy.
Chuck reading the next one.
All right, Rudy Gobert.
I think Charles Barkley just named himself to the All-Star team. He's
okay, but did I see that correctly
Draymond
today that he is actually going to be part of the broadcast crew for the All-Star game? Did I see that today?
Charles, I hadn't seen that, but I like that.
I think I saw that today, but it said he was going to be play-by-play, I think, which I thought was a little different.
I'll take it. Why not? Charles just let Draymond know that he was selected an All-Star. So that is a spot that likely the commissioner will be replacing for injury, because I do not imagine he'll have a miraculous recovery from that back injury, that he'll come back and play. So that could be a spot that another son gets in there potentially.
As of 2 days ago, there was no timetable for his return, and there's still a couple weeks left. But yeah, if he's not available, then the commissioner names an injury replacement. And I don't think it's position dependent, because Book replaced AD last year as an injury replacement, and he's not a front court guy. So I don't think that matters. So it could be a guard or a front court player replacing him. What's that?
Donovan Mitchell just got named. I did not expect Donovan Mitchell to make the cut.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I thought he'd be like the last guy or miss out on it. I did not expect him to be named, at least not this early. But I guess they did say they're going in no particular order, so he could have been one of those quote unquote wild card guys and not necessarily the backcourt guy.
Yeah, because they have,
which I guess doesn't really matter.
Because they have announced 2 guards already anyway. So if they said it's in no particular order, I guess it doesn't matter. But they have announced 2 guards before.
Does Luka count as a guard?
Huh?
Does Luka count as a guard?
For the purposes of this, yeah.
Hey, Chris Paul makes it in. So you get Devin Booker and Chris Paul in. So congratulations to the best backcourt in the NBA.
There we go. We got our 2 must-have guys in there. Mm-hmm. Anything else we get on top of that is gravy.
Do you think we will?
No.
No.
Not to be a Debbie
You know
Downer.
what? I think Mikhail replaces Draymond.
I would love that.
You can make the argument they do very much the same things for their team. So the commissioner could reward a guy like Mikhail.
Well, did you guys see today that when the NBA tweeted out their graphic for tonight's game, they had Cam and Mikhail on it? They were the 2 players that were on the graphic. And that's really cool to see, because typically it's only your top player or players. Yeah. And so we've seen mostly Devin, Chris Paul, a little DA here and there. So to have Cam and Mikhail on a graphic like that, that's progress. People are starting to pay attention to them. So
give me Cam in the 3-point contest. That's all I want. I need it.
Oh, he said he was definitely interested in being in the 3-point contest. I'd be shocked if he's not there. The Suns need some kind of representation. I think they're a top 5 or top 7 3-point shooting team, and Cam is like the guy. So he's got to be in there. I'd be shocked.
Is that announced tonight, or is that announced next week?
I don't know.
I can never remember.
Yeah, those ones kind of just steadily trickle out, because like Shams announced the slam dunk participants the other day, just randomly during the day. So I don't think there's a set announcement for that, unless Shams is just leaking shit ahead of time. I don't know.
It could be.
Sounds about right.
I very much need that JaVale in the skills competition. I may boycott if we don't.
You're just gonna die on this hill, aren't you?
You are.
I am. You can ask him about it. Aren't you going on the road trip at some point? You should ask him if he wants to be in the skills competition.
Gerald's like, please don't make me do that.
I feel like JaVale would interpret that as
sure
like.
You announce everyone for those who can't see. Sorry.
Oh, so so the announcements are in for the Western Conference. It is Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Donovan Mitchell, Luka Doncic, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, and Karl Anthony Towns. Those are the 7 Western Conference All-Star reserves, which is that's what I thought would happen. And now it'll be interesting to see who would be the injury replacement if Draymond's not able to play by then.
Do you think that the commissioner could make a legitimate argument for DeJounte Murray, even though they're as bad as they are in San Antonio, when you've got the best team in the league by a wide margin, at least game-wise, only having 2 players in this game?
I think you can. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he's averaging about 20 points, 9 assists, and almost 9 rebounds a game with 2 steals. He's been an all-defensive candidate. The Spurs aren't great, but they're not terrible enough to where it like substantially hurts his case. Like, I've seen people advocating for Brandon Ingram. I've seen people advocating for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's probably missed too many games, if I remember correctly. Jaren Jackson Jr. is another guy that's come up because the Grizzlies are 3rd in the West. I think Mikal, you could definitely make a case for Mikal, and I think people should. But if you just look at the raw like numbers, which is what people do, I don't know if his are good enough to get him in there. I think he should be in the conversation for sure. But it wouldn't surprise me if someone like Murray gets the nod instead.
Yeah, but isn't that the argument we heard about Devin Booker was wins?
Yeah.
You got to be a winner to be an all-star. You got to help your team win to be an all-star. Like, we heard that peppered constantly. Now that they're winning, I mean, it feels like, it feels like they already should reward them. If the Warriors got 3 in, and I don't think Wiggins is better than DA or Mikal, I don't know. You're probably Wiggins, right, Gerald, but
Wiggins is you're completely right. The goalpost moving is annoying for Suns fans because we've been hearing this shit for years about how Book, needs to be on a winner before he's an all-star or before he's taken seriously as a superstar in this league. So on the one hand, I would get the frustration if like a DeJounte Murray got in with a team record that's like I think they're 14 games under 500. But at the same time, imagining how upset we were about Book being held to that standard, I would prefer it if the standard just got changed and we let in people that were deserving. Mikal is deserving. I'm not saying that he's not. But yeah, the Wiggins thing pisses me off because Wiggins shouldn't even be in the All-Star game at all, let alone fucking starting. So that's just absurd to me. And we have, unfortunately, that was a K-pop thing. You can't control that. There's no fighting that army. But
no. So in the chat right now, Alvaro just said Draymond just announced he is not playing, and then Mike B said Draymond wants Murray to take his spot. Dude just said it on air.
Let me say this on air. I don't give a shit who Draymond Green wants to replace him in the game. It's not his choice. So
I mean,
thanks,
to be fair,
but no
when,
thanks.
Dame got hurt, he specifically called out Book, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I don't know if that was any sort of a sway or not.
Yeah, but Book played for the Suns,
actually really,
so
yes.
that's Espo's issue.
My standards depend on who I'm arguing in favor of, and I am not arguing in favor of DeJounte Murray, so to hell with the Warriors' opinion on who should go in. Look, you got Andrew Wiggins. You don't get a say in this now, right?
Look, I don't know when they announce who will be the injury replacement. If Draymond's outright announcing that he's not going to play, then maybe that speeds up the timeline, which sucks because Mikal's been on a little bit of a heater the last 3 games, and if he continued that forward into the All-Star break, if they waited longer, that might have given him a chance to maybe turn some heads and get some eyeballs from the commissioner. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I feel like if the Warriors have 3, the Suns should definitely have 3.
Agreed.
But again, that all goes back to the Wiggins thing that should have never happened in the first place.
But at the same time, like this is kind of like a make good for 1, the fact that we don't have 3, and then 2, the fact that we don't even have a single starter. So this could be kind of like a small make good, like a subtle nod to, hey, sorry we screwed this up.
Yeah.
Here's your 3rd All-Star.
Who are we kidding though? They're not going to give out this all-star thing like we give out flowers on this show. It's the commissioner picking this, which means the Suns are getting screwed. Congratulations, DeJounte Murray, on replacing Draymond Green. Well, let's just say it now.
Espo is preemptively mad about an announcement that's still days away.
Damn straight, Gerald. That's the way this is going to go.
You've been a Suns fan for too long, man. You're too familiar with this
Since
territory.
I was a little kid, I've just been beaten down by it. 35 years now, all right?
Oh, boy.
B said, DeJounte...
Should we talk about the game?
Hold on. I got one more comment. B said, DeJounte is in a similar position. That Book was a couple years ago, a good, deserving player in a losing situation. So, Gerald, you said you're on board with just moving the goalpost for everyone and taking out kind of the factor that you have to be on a winning team?
So I would prefer it if, obviously it sucked seeing a guy like Book get screwed, but like think about the 07 team that got screwed by Boris Diaw and Amari Stoudemire stepping onto the court. If we as Suns fans don't scream at other teams when another player steps on the court harmlessly, like that guy deserves to be suspended, we're more like, thank God that they fixed that shit so that never happened again. Mm-hmm. I feel like in this case, it's a little bit different because one of our guys is in competition with Murray. But I would prefer if we had a more standard kind of like appreciation for guys because of Book and what he went through and the fact that now he's proving people wrong. I would appreciate it if we, if that became the standard because he helped change that mindset a little bit. But, we also should acknowledge that mindset changed here in Phoenix, maybe not changed everywhere else throughout the country.
Let's change it next year.
Once we get McHale into the All-Star game.
I think we should start from a clean slate next year.
Gerald, you are far too nice. DeJounte Murray, look right here at me, all right? Let's make some eye contact here. Chicks dig scars, and you deserve to have the scar of being on a losing team and not being in the All-Star game. Use it to your advantage, channel it like Devin did, and enjoy Mikal Bridges in the All-Star game. That's what it should be.
All right, so you guys weigh in here, and in the chat, you guys weigh in as well. Do you want us to announce as TNT announces the remainder of the All-Stars, or do you want us to move on to talking more about tonight's game? Because we've got about 12 minutes here. What do you guys think?
I think they should name DeAndre Ayton an Eastern Conference starter. Get him in the game, too. The hell with the rules, right, Gerald? Let's set a new standard. Anybody can get it at any time.
We're going to move the goalposts all the way to the eastern side of the country.
So we have some people who are not able to watch TNT, so they want to know kind of what's going on over there. So we'll keep you guys updated on that.
We do have a clip before we move on to All-Stars. Monty, before the game, was asked about Chris Paul being an MVP candidate again, and he volunteered his thoughts on the Suns and their MVP candidates.
I think Chris and Book are both MVP candidates. And it's pretty cool that they're both starting to get that kind of notoriety. I don't watch a ton just because I don't want it to mess with my mind, but the things that I do see on ESPN, I'm starting to see both of them
I can upload it.
Get that kind of recognition. And I'm sure they would downplay it, but they deserve it. They've been huge for us this year. Nate just calls it like it is, so I don't have to bring it up. He brought it up. Now I can just piggyback it. I've said it a number of times. I'm grateful to be able to coach those two and partner with them as we continue this journey.
Yeah, so I thought I wrote about this 2 weeks ago, so I appreciate Monty being on the same page with me. But the Suns really do have two MVP candidates in Chris Paul and Devin Booker. It's kind of weird that Book is not getting as much recognition, nationwide in that conversation. Chris, obviously, because of what he does down the stretch, because of his impact on the culture and, that veteran experience, all of that, it's super important. But Book is putting up 25, 5, and 4 on the NBA's best team by far. And it's just kind of weird that he's not in that conversation. So I don't know. I wrote, I think having two MVP candidates, they kind of cancel each other out, unfortunately, but they both deserve to be in that conversation more than they have been to this point.
So Bees and Buckdog both bring up, so Bees said, I hope they can make an exception to the rule and make it a co-MVP. This is the truest definition of that award. Buckdog said, Is it silly to think they could be a joint MVP award? CP and Book, they had joint Rookie of the Years before, and this was something we brought up when we did talk about this on our podcast. Well, I brought it up. I was like, why not? Why not? Like, I wouldn't even be that mad about it, and it does fix. It's a solution to a big problem that the Suns have, because I was listening to, I believe it was Ramona Shelburne on Arizona Sports the other day, and she asked them at the end of her interview with them, she goes, wait, so who should I vote for? I want to vote for somebody on the Suns for this MVP race this year, but which one should it be, Chris Paul or Devin Booker? And the guys at Arizona Sports were like, we'll get back with you on that, because we're not sure either.
Right.
So, I mean, that if we could just say both of them at the same time, it would eliminate that issue.
The problem is you would need to have them combined on the ballot to do that, because of the way the voting is structured. There's, how many 60 or to 100 media people voting on MVP? So the numbers would have to align perfectly where they tied in votes. And you have like a different number of points based on where you slot your MVP selection in the top 5. So it's like the statistical chance of that happening is probably 1 in a million. But
couldn't you just make an exception and just say the
NBA can do whatever they want. I mean, we know
exactly.
that. Look at the playoff runs for the Suns.
Want.
I mean, if we want to overhaul the MVP voting system for Devin Booker and Chris Paul, I think you might have a hard time getting that one passed. But
we're just moving goalposts left and right here tonight.
We can dream, I guess.
Well, if they're all moving goalposts left and right constantly when it comes to us, why can't we move them too? We're just playing by their rules at this point.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm naming the Suns champions right now. They just need to hand them the trophy. If we're moving goalposts, it's over, folks.
Wow. We have co-MVPs. We have a championship. Mikal Bridges is an all-star. DA is an Eastern Conference all-star. This is a great show.
we fixed everything all in one show.
You're welcome. All right. Man. So tonight, the Phoenix Suns are playing the Atlanta Hawks, of course, looking to extend their win streak to 12 straight. Tonight will be a pretty good game for these two teams. Let's go ahead and take a look at the injury report, give you guys an update on who will be suiting up and who will not. So on the Phoenix Suns side, Landry Shamet, Cam Payne are still out with their injuries. And then on the Hawks side, so Lou Williams is out. DeAndre Hunter was probable, but he will play in tonight's game. And Tre Young, who was a game time decision, has been cleared to play. So injury reports are looking a little bit slim today. Obviously, we have not forgotten about like Dario and Frank and Abdul, but we're keeping them off the injury report since those are kind of long-term injuries there. So for players that we've seen recently, pretty light anyway.
For a second, I thought I was on the injury list there because great value Devin Booker, Sean DePaz, who's behind the Mac, didn't take my video off. I thought I was on the injured list.
Oh, wait! Should we take a quick break to announce the Eastern Conference All-Star reserves? Jimmy Butler, Darius Garland, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, and Fred VanVleet. So no Jarrett Allen, no Tre Young. And honestly, I'm okay with no Tre Young just because VanVleet's been incredible and Darius Garland deserved to get in because the Cavs have been a lot better than the Hawks this year. So those are your Eastern Conference All-Stars. What was that, Espo?
I was surprised Allen didn't get in.
I kind of am too. I thought I would have put him in maybe over Chris Middleton probably in that list, or Jimmy Butler. I need to look at like which of those two have played more games and the numbers, because I'll be honest, now that I'm on the Suns beat full time, I don't even pay attention to the Eastern Conference until the Suns are going to play. I got to be honest. Like,
it just meant, that's better than some of us. Some of us just pay attention to the Suns. So
that's me.
Yeah, I am surprised. I'm pretty surprised. I need to look at the numbers, but I am pretty surprised that Middleton got in. I would have put Jarrett Allen over him, I believe.
He's got to be, if there's any injury, he's got to be the logical replacement, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Braylon in the chat said, I need help on bets. Somebody tap in. So let's see what Vegas thinks about the odds for tonight's game. Espo, you want to share with us what the odds are?
Sure. There we go. It's a 4-point Oh, look at that! I get moved into a
Heyo,
special
so
spot.
fancy.
A 4-point spread for the Suns tonight. They're favored by 4 against these Atlanta Hawks. I don't think it'll be that close. This is one that's closer than I imagined it would be.
Yeah, I kind of expected this to be a little bit of a wider margin, to be honest with you. No disrespect to the Hawks, of course, by any means, but just what we've seen recently from Vegas for the Suns, I'm kind of surprised this one's a little bit tighter of a race.
Did Vegas know that Tre Young wasn't going to be named an All-Star? Is that what this
Apparently
is? Are they
not.
expecting a big like revenge tour night from Tre Young tonight? Because I would have put that higher.
I didn't think about that. This could be a big Tre Young night, which is a little scary.
It very well could be. And the Hawks, their record doesn't reflect it, but they are a team that has been not problematic for the Suns, but they do give you issues because they are kind of like the Suns in that they're a complete team. They have pieces that can hurt you from all different angles. Monty was talking in pregame about how, obviously they have Tre Young, they have Clint Capella on the lobs and stuff like that, but guys like Kevin Huerter and their wings, DeAndre Hunter, who's playing tonight, they just have a lot of solid two-way guys and a lot of shooters. So that can be a tough matchup for any team, even though their record doesn't really reflect it right now.
So can I give you my big same game parlay for tonight?
Oh boy.
All right, I'm going Jay Crowder first point scored, DeAndre Ayton with one or more than one block, Chris Paul with more than one steal. It is more than 2 steals. It's a plus 1,500. I got 20 down, going for 320 tonight. So
so you need more than 2 steals for Chris Paul?
Yes.
Okay.
And you need more than 1 block from DA?
Correct. It says 1 plus, so I assume that means
just as long as you get 1.
Okay.
1 or more. Yes.
Okay.
So 2 or more steals. So.
It's manageable.
Yeah.
The Jay Crowder first shot's the toughest of the 3, I think.
Yeah, those ones are always tough too, especially when you start your parlay with that, because then your parlay could literally be done in the first 3 seconds of a game, and that's always really disappointing. If you were going to take a first field goal for tonight, who would it be? We were all wrong the other night because I think we all said, we'll give Jay a minute to get his legs back or whatever, and he came in and knocked it down.
See, I would have said Jay last game. This game, I would probably I'm going to go Book on this one.
Okay.
I think first time actual All-Star selection as far as getting in on his own merit. Let's get Book a touch early.
I like that.
Man, I'm now terrified it's going to be Tre Young. Thanks.
He's just going to bomb from 40 feet to start the game.
Yeah, he's going to get the tip, and behind the half court line, he's going to chuck. So
I think I'm going to go Jay tonight just because I should have picked Jay the other night. Espo, I feel like we betrayed our guy. So I think I'm going to go Jay tonight to try and make up for that a little bit.
I like it.
We'll see. All right. So let's see. What did we pick for tonight's game? What are our thoughts on how this one will end?
Yeah, so I have the Suns by 7. Saul had the Suns by 12, and I'm going to kick it to Espo because I don't know the significance of what the 12 is. Maybe 12 for Chris Paul's 12-time All-Star selections.
I don't know. I didn't do this one, so
okay.
I don't know if there is a meaning or if we just went, Saul's not here. Let's put in 12.
What it is?
So.
You know what it is? It's 12 straight games that the Suns are going to be on a winning streak after tonight's game.
Right.
12 straight.
Figured it out.
That's a good one.
Wow.
I got Suns by 6. I don't think this will be a blowout, but I think it'll be towards the end just kind of like a subtle cruise control.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, that's why I said 9. I think it's going to be like that as well. So.
Yeah, so I think we're in a good spot tonight. It'll be a fun game, and hopefully the Suns will extend that win streak to 12 straight, and we will be celebrating in the VIP lounge. As always, thank you for tuning in, and be sure to hang out with us on social media or in the members-only Discord throughout the game. If you're not a Go PHNX member, you can become one now. We did just announce a new team that we are going to be covering here on out. The Phoenix Rising got their own beat coverage today, so that was a really fun announcement for us as a company. And of course, there will be written articles on Go PHNX about them as well. So if you're a member, hang out with us in the Discord. If you are not a member yet, you can still hang out with us on Twitter. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsey Smith AZ. You You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. We'll see you guys after the game.
Ahoy, hoy.